Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chuck Norrington for COMM 102P Daily News. Today's news: teaching assistants went on strike at the University of California, San Diego. On April 3rd, a group of UCSD teaching assistants from the UC Student Worker Union rallied around the UCSD campus to stage a strike after negotiations between the UC administration and the TAs union broke down. UCSD TAs marched into Geisel Library and walked into the lecture halls during class time to express their concerns and draw the attention of both students and professors. They complained that UC negotiators have refused to bargain over class size, increasing wages, subsidies for childcare, and other issues.
So we are building a broken education system because we are being exploited. So we have to fight together, fight for this education system that in the first place should have been free.
According to the TAs, the workers on strike are requesting reasonable and fair treatment for all the TAs, pointing to the unfair treatment by the administration. In addition, they demand the UC administration will stop the harassment against the TAs for participating in the strike and other interventions.
Personally, as a TA, I'm a new TA, and I'm starting to see the structural problems with the university system because, frankly, class sizes have been expanding at a huge pace, and when they add so many TAs, really the purpose is to add to the university's profit margin, right? Every TA who teaches a section facilitates thousands and thousands of dollars coming into the university. At the same time, we're vastly overworked, right? Class size contributes to us not being able to really interact with our students. We're not able to give them good feedback. We're not able to give them the education that they deserve.
Also, we're asking them to stop with the harassment. A lot of what administration is doing is harassing the TAs, and that's illegal what they're doing right now because we're striking for these unjust labor practices. And we will come back to the table, and we also would like for them to come back to the table and respond to the demands that we're making.
Later on, we will have a live interview with one of the UAW members. Today we have invited to our program a UCSD teaching assistant with the UAW head Steward, Troy Araiza Kokinus, who has also participated in the TA strike on April 3rd. Hi Troy, welcome to COMM 102P News. Recently you participated in the UC Student Worker Union strike. How did that strike turn out?
Yeah, I think it went pretty well. We had a 2-day strike, I think it was 2 weeks ago, on April 2nd and 3rd. And here at UCSD, we had around, I think, 300 TAs go on strike, and we had some strike marches with as many as 250 people going around campus. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty well.
In the past, there have been multiple TA strikes. What degree of change do you actually think has been made with these strikes now that we're doing it again for the increasing class sizes, the wages that you guys aren't getting, as well as, I heard even about child subsidies and among many other issues that we're arguing for.
The current state of unions in this country, unions are very weak and very demobilized at this point, and they're not very proactive, and they try to settle everything at the bargaining table as quickly as possible, strike a deal with some union representatives who are often, union bureaucrats and aren't even representative of the actual workers. Our union is very different in the sense that we have people sitting at the bargaining table representing our fellow workers. We are workers ourselves.
You never really know when you're going to get work. It's kind of like on a, right before classes start.
Yeah,
that's when they let you know.
This can happen too. But in regards to this rule, no one is taking responsibility for dealing with it. So basically, the Office of the President, which is who we negotiate with at the bargaining table, they're a statewide entity. They're saying that this is a rule that's implemented and reinforced by the OGS offices on each local campuses. OGS is saying that this is something that's coming out of the UC Office of the President, and they can't do anything about it. 2 years ago, OGS here received a petition with over 200 signatures of graduate students demanding an end to this 18-quarter rule because, because, after 6 years, if you don't have eligibility, your funding is up to a crapshoot of essentially, are you going to get a fellowship that 1 in 200 people get? Are you going to have to go in abstention and just leave? And that's there's no reason to go so far and then run out of funding. But anyways, Office of Graduate Studies receives this petition.
I also mean in the sense that, like, in addition to this, what would you like to,
what
to
would
happen
we like?
from this, you know?
Yeah. So, well, right now, like our wages are on average are basically $3,000 behind comparable universities. So, you know, for example, we make somewhere around 16 grand a year. This is not a living wage at all, especially for living in places like La Jolla, Santa Barbara, the Bay Area, Los Angeles. You can't live on 16 grand a year. And, you know, a lot of graduate students have families. There's a lot of us that are 35, 40, 45 years old that are here in graduate school. And you can't raise a family or raise a child on 16 grand a year. And so yeah, and also this is a real issue too, because we're losing graduate students. Comparable universities that offer, you know, 21 grand a year for their TAs, we can't offer a competitive stipend, a competitive work stipend. So, you know, you get offered 21 grand to go teach or to go, study at University of Michigan,
Right.
where it's half the cost of living. Why would you come to the UC system? Like, we're actually declining in the number of graduate students.
You're losing money because you got to take care of, you know, your family, raise your family as well.
Or we're also losing people who are accepted. Like, over 50% of graduate students who've been accepted to the UC in the past 2 years have declined the offer. So we're basically losing credibility because we can't offer a competitive stipend. And this is like also in terms of like how this comes out in work. So we're having less graduate students, and then we're increasing the numbers of undergrads, right? So in terms of the graduate students who actually come here, you're getting stuck with larger class sizes because there's less of us graduate students, and the UC is absorbing more and more and more undergrads, and we don't have the amount of
larger class sizes.
Yeah.
TAs have to grade more papers.
Right.
Wow. Well,
Right.
I hope you guys can be, you know, successful in your future fight, and you guys get to change that. Probably get some more leeway with the wage, but I mean, you know, with the way it is right now, it's looking. It seems, well, one can be hopeful, but we really appreciate that you coming in today and telling us about this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Troy.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
This is Chuck Norrington from COMM 102P Daily News today. Thank you for joining us.